analyze different types of for loops and what is the flow of a control in a for loop. We'll see what are the various types and how it works. So first we'll have a basic for loop implemented, then we'll try to twist it in different forms. Okay, so let's create a sample file, text document, for loop Java. Yes, edit with notepad. Good. Okay, so we'll have a basic class created, public class for loop. So many people gets confused with this. Should our class name be same as that of our file name? So that is not true, but that is true only if you are writing public here. Okay, so if you are not writing public here, you can have whatever name you want to give. Okay, because our class files will have conflict with the name that you are giving here if you are mentioning public. So just conclusion, if you are using public, make sure your class name is the same as that of your file name. That's it. But otherwise you can write whatever you want if you are not using public. Okay, let's write our main function, public static void main string args array. Right, so our basic for loop will be like for, let me write, then we can discuss. Int I is equal to 0, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. Yes, let's have a system dot out dot print ln of I. That's it. Okay, let's have a end statement as well. Control Z. The here for loop is ending. For loop ends. Okay, this will be our end of program. Okay, we are good. So how the control flows is, once we execute this, control will come into the main function, and from there this for loop gets started. So in this for loops basically we'll have three things. First is the initialization. Okay, so int I is equal to 0 is nothing but initialization. Then we'll have the decision taking segment, which is I less than equal to 10. Here we'll decide whether, if it is true, then control will go to the fifth line, this is system.out.println. Okay, and once this decision is true and then this line gets executed, then we'll go to next, that is manipulation with our for loops variable. Okay, that is initialize. Okay, here we can say for loop where modification. Right, I hope this is visible. Okay, now it's clear. Okay, so how the control goes is int I is equal to 0, this is initialized. Okay, this will run only for one time. Okay, once this is run, then we'll move on to I less than equal to 10, and 0 is less than equal to 10, true. True in the sense execute the statement, don't go to the next. Okay, once this is true, this will get executed. So we'll get first as 0. Now 0 went to this, so I plus plus is nothing but I is equal to I is equal to I plus 1. So I plus plus is nothing but I is equal to I plus 1. So let's have it this way. Okay, now since I was 0, so 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1 is 1. Now that 1 is assigned to I, so I value now is 1. Now after this, that is, we executed 0 less than equal to 10, then we executed system or dot out dot println, then modification, that is I becomes 1, then again we'll go to this. Okay, so it's like from here it will go to the uh, execution of code, then it will go to the for loop variable modification, again it will go to decision. Okay, so let me show you again. 0 less than equal to 10, true. Execute this line, and then I is 0 plus 1, that is 1, so I becomes 1. Then 1 is less than equal to 10, true. So then print, so now it will be 1. Okay, now after this execution of code, again we'll go to for loop verification modification, that is I now becomes 1 plus 1, that is 2. So 2 less than equal to 10, yes, again this will print it. So similarly, suppose 9, so 9, if our thing is 9, okay, goes on till 9. After this, after this 9 is printed, we'll go here. I will become 9 plus 1, 10. So 10 is less than equal to 10. That is correct. Okay. So it will print 10. Now once 10 is printed, as per our behavior, it should come here. That is I becomes 10 plus 1. Okay. So now I value is 11. So now 11 is less than equal to 10. Right. I mean 11 is less than equal to 10, false, so this will not be printed. Okay, so we are at the end of for loop. Whenever this statement is false, this will not be executed, that is the content of for loop will not be executed, and we come at the end of the for loop. After that, whatever is written after the for loop, that will be executed. That is our println statement. Right, now let's execute this. So to execute this, we have to open terminal here, cmd. Right, now let's bring our terminal here. We'll minimize this. Let's compile and run it. Java C for loop dot Java. Since it is compiled, let's Java for loop, no extension. Yeah. So as you can see, this was our expected behavior 0 to 10, and then end of program. So this was a basic for loop, and I hope you understand the control, how it flows. This will be initialized once, and then we take decision, then we execute the code, then we modify the for loop variable. Again we take decision. If it is true, then we execute, we modify. If decision is true, we execute, we modify. If decision is false, we come out of the for loop and continue with our remaining logic. So that's how it works. That was a basic for loop. Okay, now let's move on to the nested for loop. Okay, so we'll write, okay, since this was our code, instead of this we'll have one more for loop here. So now we are inside the parent for loop. For end j is equal to 0, j less than equal to 3, j plus plus. We'll open this, we'll open the for loop, internal for loop. We'll close the internal for loop. Okay, so instead of declaring it here, we'll have it declared outside. And j is equal to 0 and I also equal to 0. Okay, so we'll, since we have declared I already, we'll not declare it here again. So this is our external for loop. This will be our internal for loop. Okay, so if we want to have the value of j as well, and value of j is, let's have j here. Okay, so how it behaves is, and the first for loop when I is equal to 0. Okay, so let's suppose I is equal to 0 as of now. Okay, I is equal to 0 and 0 is less than equal to 10, which is a true case. True case in the sense this will be executed, then the external for loop variable modification will happen. Now keep in mind, whatever internal or external for loop, the logic will be same, that is this one. Okay, now let's come to the internal for loop. Okay, so we have I as 0. Now j is 0, yes, 0 is less than equal to 3, which is true, so now this will be printed. So as of now I value is 0. Okay, 0 and value of j is 1. Oh, sorry, 0. This is 0, right? So 0 is 1. So here we have j is equal to 0. Now once this is executed, our control will move to this j plus plus. Again, I can write this in this way. J is equal to j plus 1. So here j is j plus 1. That is j becomes 1. Okay, 1 is less than equal to 3. So you see this for loop until and unless it completes, it cannot go and execute this. Okay. So once the internal thing is completed, that is execution of code is done, then only for loop where modification will come into place. So we were here, j is equal to 0, 0 is less than equal to 3, so we printed j is 0, and then j became 0 plus 1, that is 1. So 1 is also less than equal to 3. Yes, so now we'll print j value as 1. Like that, we'll print a 2 as well, and then we'll have 2. J is equal to 2 plus 1, that is 3. 3 is less than equal to 3, right? So true in the sense we'll execute this. So we'll have j value printed as 3 again. So once we have I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0, I is equal to 0, j is equal to 1, I is equal to 0, because we are printing I value here, right? So it will be like I value 0 and then j value 0, and the next is I value will be 0 only because I value is modified here and will not reach there until this complete for loop is done. So we'll have j as 1, and then we'll have I value still remains 0 and j value incremented. I value still remains 0 and j value incremented. So once j value reached 3, then 3 in the sense printed 3, and then this happened, j is 3 plus 1 4, which means 4 is less than equal to 3, false. So this is not executed, control reached here. So this is like internal code is done, internal execution is done. So after execution of code, the next for loop where modification, that is this one. So now what happened, I was 0 initially, you remember. So now I became 0 plus 1, that is I became 1. So 1 is less than equal to 10, that is true. Yes, so again this all thing will happen. Now this time what will happen, I become once, and this complete thing will execute again with I value as 1 1 1. Okay, so you see, when I becomes 1, this has to be executed again. In this, j value is 0. So again from we are having j0, j1, j2. So this will happen again and again. Let's decrease this till 4. Okay, so this is what we are expecting. I hope I am clear so far because this is a very useful concept. Let's just save it and run it. I'm compiling. Okay, there is some issue. So what it is after this we are having comma somewhere. Illegal start of exception on line number 9. Okay, here is one comma. Right. Let's compile it. Compilation successful. Clear the screen. Java for loop without extension. Right. So here I value was 0, j is 0, I 0, j 1. Okay, if you can see. I value 0, j2, I value 0, j3. So here j loop was done, then again I got incremented and I1, j0. Like that we had till I became 4. So when I became 4, okay, I became 4, this complete thing executed with 4, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3 and so on. So after this, when again we went to incremented, there we had I is equal to 4 plus 1, which is 5. So 5 is less than equal to 4? No, right? So this external loop ended and we executed this, and that was our end of program. So this was basically a nested for loop. So instead of this, you can have your switch, if, or any logic that you want. This was just an example. Okay, so we'll have one more thing. So we'll comment this out. This is, if you have any queries regarding this, you can comment in the comment section. I'll definitely reply that. And now we have something called for. Here we'll have initializer, then here we'll have decision making thing, here we have modification thing, and then our basic code execution, code to be executed, right? So if we don't write anything, or if we write int k is equal to 0, okay, and we'll have nothing here, we have nothing here. So what will happen? K is 0 is initialized, but there is nothing to execute. Okay, let's remove this as well, because when we are not using it, then why to declare it? Okay, we are not writing anything here. Oh sorry, it is semicolon, not comma. So this was the first part, this was the second part, and then we have a print statement. Okay, so when there is no ending case, that is for how the for loop ends. For loop ends based on the decision. If the decision is false, then it will not execute the internal code and it will come at the end. But if our decision is not there, so it means we are never false. We are never false means this will run forever. So that is, we call it as infinite loop. Night infinite loop. So do you think this line will be executed ever? No. Yes, there will be an overflow kind of stuff, or no, here we don't have any overflows. So fine, yes, this line will never be executed. Let's try to run this. Control S, we saved it. Now let's compile Java C for loop. So these concepts, okay, unreachable statement, end of program, right? Yeah, this line will never get executed because this is an infinite loop, right? So that was compilation error that we got, unreachable statement. So we removed that. Fine. We are compiling it. Java for loop will execute. This will go on and on and on and on. And if you want to stop, just to press Control and C. It will stop. So Control C is like stopping the application from an external force. Okay, with clear the screen. So that was all about for loop, and we have some break statements here as well. Okay, that we might be using in programming a lot. So let's have an example for that as well. Okay, this is not required. Yeah, we are good. So let's have a decision maker here. If suppose j is equal to 3, okay, so if j is equal to 3, then break. So break means okay, let's suppose j is equal to 2. Okay, so it's like when I is equal to 0 and 0 is less than equal to 4, we are getting it inside of the internal for loop, and this will execute for all values, that is 0 to 3. Okay, 0 is less than equal to 3, true, this will execute it. Then this becomes 1 is less than equal to 3, this will execute. Like that the control flows on and on. So what we are doing, when j is equal to 2, okay, when j is equal to 2, we are breaking it. If we write before the print statement, even once again, right, I want to have only this. Let me include flower bases as well, so that you don't get confused in your initial phases, right? So if j is equal to 2, break means this line will not execute, and we are, if is inside what, if is inside this for loop, so this for loop will get break. So this is a very keen point, right? When we are breaking something, what is it that we are breaking? It's not like we are writing break inside if, so it will, this break will break the if. No. So if we are writing break, it means we have to break that loop under which we have written an if loop. Okay, so it's like here we are breaking a loop in which this if is written. Okay, so this if is written under this for loop. This is very keen point. This if is written under this for loop. So this break will break this for loop. Okay, now this is broken. So broken in the sense we are coming out of this for loop. So here our expected behavior is when the j becomes 2, this break is get out of the internal for loop, and then we'll again get back to this. So where I was 0 initially, okay, so we got I value 0, j value 0. We got printed because 0 is equal to 2 false, so this will not execute. This happened, so I is 0, j is 0, then j becomes 1, 1 is less than equal to 3. So again we printed 0 and 1, then j becomes 1 plus 1 2, and 2 is less than equal to 3. So again we printed I value as 0, j value as 2. No, so when j becomes 2 and 2 is less than equal to 3 is true, this line is getting executed. So 2 is equal to 2 is true, true in the sense break. So now we will not have a case where we are having I value as 0 and j value as 2. Okay, so at that time we'll come out of this internal for loop and we'll increment the I value by 1. So I becomes 1, 1 is less than equal to 4. Again we'll have 1 and 1 with j value as 0, 1, I as 1, j as 1, I as 1, j as 2 will again break. So we'll not have a case where j becomes 2. Let's execute this and let's comment this one, as you are already aware of this for loop, right? Let's run this. Compilation done, execution, right? So if you see, I value was 0, where g value was 0, 1, and when j became 2, we came out, and then I became 1, j 0, 1, then j becomes 2, that was broken, then we came out. That is how this break works. But breaking in the sense we are breaking the internal for loop. But if you want to break the same for the external for loop, right? If you want to break this, and if we write break here, if I is equal to 2, want to break. Okay, so it's like this if is written under this for loop. So when I becomes 2, we'll have this for loop breaken as well. So as of now, if we see I value is reaching till 4. Okay, now we'll save this and we'll try to run this. Okay, cls compile java for loop. Okay, so you see I value never reached across 2. Okay, so if we write this, okay, so if you see I had a value 2 because this got executed, after that we breaked it. Okay, if we write this before itself, so break will happen here when I is 2, and even this will not be executed. So it means I will never reach this case where I values become 2 and is executing the internal code. So we'll compile and we'll run. So you see now what happened. Okay, we didn't save this. Okay, now let's compile and let's run this for loop, right? Okay, now this was like if we are writing break internally, that was breaking the internal for loop. If we are writing break in the external for loop, that is breaking external for loop. Okay, but if we want to have this breaking done for the external loop itself, then we'll have to use the labeled for loops. So it is like this is external loop So this was the label given to this for loop, and this is internal loop. This was the name given to internal for loop. Now here if we don't write anything, it will by default break the just in whichever for loop we are writing this break, that will be broken, but we want the some other for loop to be broken, so we'll copy the label of that and we'll simply paste it here. Okay, you're clear, right? Now we should see when j is equal to 2, it should come, it should break this for loop. This for loop ends here, so our control will come here. Let's come clear the screen. Compilation done. This was the for loop. Okay, so if you see, as soon as j was 0, I was 0 and j got 0, so I 0 j 0 got printed, and then j incremented 1, 1 is equal to 2, no, so we had I 1 I 0 j 1, and then after that j got incremented to 2, 2 was less than equal to 3. So as soon as j became 2, this breaking of external loop happened. So this loop got broke and we came to the end of the program. So that was complete about the for loops, and there are still many more twisting can be done. Like we can have switch case, we can have if case, we can have nested switch cases under for loops. Like if we understand the flow of one uh, a for loop or one switch case, one if case, one while loop, do while loop, we can use the hybrid of thing. We can mix the way we want as per the solution we design. So get a good grip of this basic loops, and then we can use any way, like we can mold it any to solve our solution. So that was it, and if you have any queries, you can comment down in the comment sections. Thank you.